portion of Beshalach, I mean, what can I say that you didn't hear it already about Beshalach? So we're going to try to take a different angle because it's kind of one of those famous portion, if not the most famous portion of the Torah. Within this portion, basically, you got everything. You got a blessing to make money. There's a blessing to get cure from all disease. There's a blessing for having good relationship. Everything is in this parsha. So that's why when we look at Beshalach, every little secret about making your life better is in Beshalach. Anything you want, Beshalach. For that reason, usually in Beshalach, people who study Kabbalah usually go to synagogue more often because it's they know that they can capture all the year in one weekend. One weekend you can get it all. So that's why most people go on Shabbat, at least of Beshalach, if you want to fix your money area, your relationship, your children, health, all of it can be fixed in one Shabbat. Try to invest in the Shabbat. That's why we open also Friday, we open also Saturday for everybody who want to come, to make sure that you all can have the benefit of doing it. Thank you very much. Thank you. How did you know I want one? So everybody, of course, welcome to join us, to be part of that. We all need energy, we all need help. So the story of Beshalach, I mean, what is the story? The story, when I say the story, that's basically the clothing of the secret. So it's almost like how you want to present things. So the story is a presentation of the portion, of the energy, and the energy is basically within that clothing. So when we talk about the story, it's a nice thing. We should relate to the story. The Torah can be understood in 4 levels. So the story is basically, it's called the pshat, just the outside, where you're going into the story behind the story. We call it midrash, drash. When you give a hint, like gematria, and you add the letter with the numbers and 5 and 6, it's called a remez, hint. And when you're relating all of it into secret, of knowing a lot of secret about the portion, it's called Kabbalah. So every section in spirituality has always 4 levels, the same as the 4 letters of God. Everything has 4 levels. So we need to relate to the story as well, because the story by itself is, I should say, beautiful, but it's gorgeous. It's an unbelievable story. So let me share with you the story first. The story goes like that. The end of the 10 plagues, basically, Pharaoh had enough is enough. I mean, he realized finally, or I should maybe said, God make him realize, because he realized it from the first plagues. Who need a headache of blood and lice and fraud? Who need it? But he couldn't let them go out of his country, not because he doesn't want them. His free will was taken away from him. And you know, when the free will is being taken away from the person, I don't think there is a worse punishment. That you know you shouldn't do something and you do it anyway. I don't know if you met people ever in your life that try so hard to become better. Can. I'm not talking about just addiction. I'm talking about anger, for example. People want to stop being angry. They can't. People want to stop being jealous. They can't. It's a terrible disease that you can't help yourself. I don't want to get angry, and you get angry. I don't want to be jealous, and you get jealous. I don't want to steal, and you steal. So can you imagine the feeling of Pharaoh being in his own country, being bothered by those slaves and their God and Moses, and he wanted them to leave, and God makes sure that he wants to leave, and God makes sure that he will not be able to let them go. That's a tough punishment. The question, of course, that we need to raise and ask, and that's come the secret now, Kabbalah, is why? What kind of punishment is this? What is this? Well, God have nothing else to do, just capture a guy and say, let's take advantage of this guy and crush his bones. Every 3 weeks, you have a different plagues. So try to imagine the terrible thing. I mean, if you think about it, the last 3 plagues that we discussed was Arbe, the grasshopper, not the grasshopper, the locust, then the night, the dark, and then the Makat Bechorot, the killing of the firstborn. When was the locust came and eat all the trees? Tu B'Shvat. That's why we celebrate the trees on Tu B'Shvat, right? On Saturday night, we're going to celebrate Tu B'Shvat. You know what Tu B'Shvat, right? When we eat new fruit and all this and that.
when was the dark plagues took place? Because every 3 weeks, you have 1 week of the plague, 3 weeks break. 1 week, so it's go to Bishvat, if you take 1 week of the plague, 3 weeks after, what happened 1 month after? Purim. Right? What happened in Purim? Dark. What is the connection to the dark? Is there, it's saying about Purim, ליהודים הייתה אורה ושמחה. The Jew in Iran has light in their own area, even that everybody was suffering. The people in Hamadan in Iran was actually celebrating, and they use the word light, the same light that they talk about in the plagues of darkness. And of course, the third plagues, everybody know when it happened. It happened in Seder in Passover, in the night of Passover. So they show you that all the holidays are actually within the plagues. But where is it taking us? Taking us to this week portion. When Pharaoh finally let go, or God made him let go, and the idea, what type of people get such a punishment? It's a punishment. There's nothing worse punishment that you know what you should be doing and you cannot do it. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse. You want to be better and you can't. You know, I meet sometimes people who are so angry with everything, with themselves, with their wife, with their husband, with everything. They just can't change it. Can't change it. It's a terrible thing. So here we're coming to difference between mental change and a spiritual change. Mental change is when you work on yourself to become better. It's good. You work on yourself, you forgive, you become nicer and nicer every day, but it's not enough. Mental change is not enough. You gotta add what we call spiritual change. Spiritual change is when you get the divine to be included within everything you do. And that's difficult. You want to eat, before you eat you stop, say, divine, can you be part of my food? You want to dance, divine, be plus part of my dance. Because we know dance in Hebrew is ben machol. Machol comes from the word bechilat avonot, removal of all sin. For that reason, all the Kabbalists used to dance before everything. Because the dancing itself, removing all negativity. When you dance once, we learn how to dance. So the whole idea of Pharaoh, the poor guy, is that Pharaoh doesn't represent Pharaoh as the king of Egypt. He's actually the snake. Remember the snake from Adam and Eve? That's him. So he's come in the shape of a king. As he comes in the shape of a king, Deb, can we lower the heat? My brain only concentrates when I'm cold. I don't know. I can understand why in a cold country they say smarter people. Is it true? I don't know. That's why in Israel everybody is stupid, no? Or the opposite, no? How is it working? I'm Israeli. So anyway, talking about Pharaoh was the actual snake. So what was the purpose of all those 10 plagues? What is this? I don't know if you know organization by the name of Chabad, wonderful collection of books, but not necessarily they always study it. I always force the people who study in Chabad to, why don't you look at your own books, you know? I had the privilege this weekend to spend time with them, to do Shabbat with them. So they asked me, that you are studying Kabbalah? I said, do you mind to show us what our teacher meant when he wrote it? So of course, let me see what he wrote. So I sat with them and I showed them. I said, it was so fascinating. So you guys have all of it in your domain? So yeah, we didn't fully understand that because we don't study Kabbalah. So this is unbelievable stuff. It's all from the Zohar. And their Rebbe said, the whole purpose of Egypt was not to get out of Egypt. God can do it in a second. Was to actually to break Pharaoh. The purpose was to crush that force of the snake, that force of the king of Egypt called Pharaoh. We need to understand what does that mean for us. Because this week parasha, this week portion, we're getting out of Egypt. We're saying bye-bye Pharaoh. And we are busy saying in this week portion, and it sounds a little bit evil. Vayar Israel et Mitzrayim met al sfatayam. The whole nation of Israel saw the minister, the god of Egypt, saw the Pharaoh, saw everything die in the middle of the Red Sea. What does that mean? Tell us again that it's actually from a section in the Zohar that explained by the head of the Chabad rabbi, who no longer with us. Okay,
And unfortunately, a lot of people don't study Kabbalah, have in their domain thousands of books that so much value. When I read it, I had nothing to do with Shabbat. So, wow, you got here and you didn't share. Say, well, we didn't fully understand that. So you should share it. This is good stuff. What does it mean for us? A lot of time, we are busy revealing something new or something good. Everybody is into, what's exciting people now? A startup company. Everybody, you tell them startup, even if it's bad. Oh my God, startup. Yeah, I mean, it sounds cool. It's something the startup, one of 1,000 work. The 999 is just noise, too much noise. Only the 991, and it's almost like a sperm cell. You ever look at the sperm cell? 999 soldiers come with a sperm cell and one make it to a baby. The rest, what happened to them? Well, they're cheerleader. That's it. Okay? The same thing with a startup. I'm sorry to talk like this, but to have really an understanding of what is that thing. Everybody want something new. It's tremendous. How does that relate to the Pharaoh? We have to destroy negativity to reveal what is already there. That's the revelation. So when we read this week portion, that we saw the Egypt is gone on the Red Sea, they don't use the word Red Sea because the original name for red was the Sea of Reeds. Reeds in the old language of English being those bamboo bushes or bamboo trees. Reeds, the Sea of Reeds, they changed it to red. Those of you who've been in a lot, the sea is blue. I'm sorry for the disappointment. Don't red. I know you want to find the reflection of the mountain and the red. No, blue, all the way blue. Get used to it. Blue, not red. There's no Red Sea. So why they call it the Red Sea? Sea of Reeds. If they translate it from Yam Suf, Suf mean reeds. Suf mean reeds. But also Suf comes with Sof, like En Sof, the end. When you're coming to an end in your life, when you're coming into a situation where it's really bad, you can either reveal positivity, which is the easy way, or here, the Israelite getting a command by God, you have to destroy negativity. This week, if you want to get into who you are, what you're meant to be doing in this life, you gotta look into that force that's blocking you. If you think you're blocking yourself or your ego blocking you, it's too much ego to say that you have ego. Do you understand what I just say? When you say, I think my ego is too big, well, why are you saying that? Don't you think it's an ego to say it? I have too much ego. That's ego saying it. Don't say it. If you have too much ego, just shut up and say nothing about your ego. Why you have to say, I have ego? Oh my God, I'm working on my ego. Don't you think it's an ego? That's already ego. I'm working on my ego. Okay? Ego. I'm working on my ego. I think I'm too selfish. Ego. What the Ari said, shut up. Ari simply, shtika. He didn't say quiet. Ari get sheket. No, shut up. Very simple way to be spiritual. Ari say, if you want to start spirituality, lishtok. Shtok means to shut up. He doesn't say to be a little quiet, speak that. Shut up. Everything's going to be okay. So, when we talk about Pharaoh is a force. It's a snake within us that we have to find, take a hammer and start to destroy it. That's what we're doing this weekend. That's what we're doing this Shabbat. We gotta work on that. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy because, as I say, startup company is much better than destroying what the negative thing we're familiar with. To go build, it's exciting. Everybody want to go build. I will tell you a personal job I used to do in the army. After my son finally realized what I did in the army, because I was a fighter, and he started looking into the years when I was serving. He said, you were exactly served in a time of a war, Lebanon war. How come you didn't go to the war and risk your life? It was 70% of the people who unfortunately didn't make it. And then he checked and said, wow, that's exactly the time you become a chef. So you become a chef exactly there. And he looked at me and said, oh. And he realized, I said, it was tough too, I have some tough situation. He said, like what? I said, one time somebody had to make onion soup for about 500 people, and they didn't do a good job. And they called me, and I went and I fixed it. Don't you think I said, Abba, you get out of the war? I said, no, I just enjoy cooking. He was right. So the idea is, are you destroying your laziness? Are you destroying your anger? Are you destroying your jealousy? What are you going to destroy this week? One thing, don't destroy all of you, because if you have too much ego, then what left? You destroy everything, then it's got to be left with something. So don't go on one thing. What is the thing? How is your Pharaoh look like? So when you are crushing it, and you leave it on the Red Sea, you're no longer going to see it. It's very easy to get people out of Egypt. It's very easy to get people out of Pharaoh or bad habit. But unfortunately, in the mind of a person, it's still rolling. The negativity is still happening. If you couldn't forgive someone, you take it for 30 years, 25 years, something like that. Can you imagine? 25 years you can think about one person that you couldn't stand. 25 years. Don't you think it's a long time? I don't think they think about you that long, the people you can forgive. So why? Why you do that to yourself? Life is beautiful. Move on. Enjoy flower, roses. Yeah, they crush you. They cheat you. They took advantage of you. They are the worst people ever. Yes, Pharaoh. Worse than Pharaoh, 400 years of exile and slavery and everything. So what is the Israelite mission in this week of portion? You gotta let them go. So the let go of that negative thing cannot be just by destroying Pharaoh with plagues. You have to let go. That's what we're doing in this parasha. You totally get rid of it. And when you do that, then you have something that's called the splitting of the Red Sea. The splitting of the Red Sea. What is a splitting? They use the word splitting, like splitting of the atoms cell. What is splitting? Because if you think about it, those of you familiar with the 72 name of God, I'm not going to repeat it now, but there is name of God that's coming from 3 verses, basically, in 19, 20, and 21, in chapter 14. And in those 3 verses, each one of them has 72 letters. Together you have 72 name of God. Each letter is actually ruled by one angel. And through those names that some say it was written on the staff of Moses, some say Moses say them, different opinion, it doesn't really matter. We are able to split the physical matter, which happened to be the Red Sea. And through that, the Egyptian chasing the Israelite going through the Red Sea, and when the Egyptians come in, the Red Sea closes them and everybody died. The one spot that saved everybody, same spot killed the wrong people. It's almost seems like impossible, because usually the universe is not operate like this. The universe operates in mercy or in judgment. So the miracle was not actually a splitting of the Red Sea. Not the miracle. God can do anything better than that. The miracle was that it was a mix of judgment and mercy in the same spot. It's usually not going to happen. The idea here now, when we talk about the 72 name, when we talk about the splitting of the Red Sea, when we talk about everything that we talk about this week portion, is the idea that each and every one of us have to ask ourselves, once you get rid of that Pharaoh, once you get rid of that force and crush it, what do you do about your life next? What is the opening you're looking for? The Red Sea is an opening. Think about an opening. Now you can talk about startup. But first you got to destroy, because if you don't destroy the Pharaoh in you, in the next job you're going to have, the same Pharaoh was waiting for you there. If you didn't get, let's say, people who are lazy or selfish. Debbie and me one time flew to Israel, and we flew with a lady from Boca Raton and her husband. I didn't know that that's her husband. Those of you who met me in Boca Raton, I really didn't care if this is your husband or your wife. I'm sitting in my airline and I'm flying to Israel, and leave me alone, kind of a thing. It's going to be 14 hours flight, right? All of a sudden a gentleman come. I think they were sitting in business class, or I don't know. He looked at me, a weird look, and I wasn't born in America, so I don't know how to be a gentleman right away. I'm working on it. And he gave me the look. And I'm flying to Israel. I'm not in the mood to have a look. So I'm looking. Then I'm looking at Debbie, my wife. I always check because my wife is American and she can feel things if it's normal or not. I say, is this guy looking at me in a weird way, or it's me imagining, or I'm psychically read his energy? What's happening here? So she started laughing and say, in Hebrew, she tell me, he's looking at you. So I look at my wife again. Why is he looking at me? So I look at him again. I said, okay. All that, like, what, it was 71 or something like that? Stop yelling at me, screaming at me. I don't know the guy. I said, excuse me, we're about to fly. Can you go back to wherever you come from? So, he keep telling me things, I have no idea who he is. That's the funny part. So he's the husband of that lady that I know, but I didn't know he's the husband of that lady that I know. I know the lady, I don't know the husband. I don't know what he's doing on the flight. This is a spiritual trip going to Israel to meditate. Who are you? Like, who invite you to the party, you know? And then he started blaming me that his wife is too spiritual. She used to be much nicer. She was a great slave before she met me. Now the whole airplane listened to it. What have you done to her? She served me. She washed my food, and she cleaned between the toes. You have no idea the description. And she served me food. I find myself now making my own food. I find myself making my own thing. I find myself making this. I said, Debbie, wow, my God, am I supposed to deal with it now the entire trip? This is what I'm having. So we don't know. We'll see where it's going. Somehow he didn't feel well. Unfortunately, may God rest his soul. He didn't feel well. He went back to Florida and then he passed away. And I felt bad because I never get to know the guy. All what I know that he didn't like me without even knowing me. And he's gone. And she become happy. So that make me happy. The wife actually become happy. You remember that? She become somebody I don't even know because she was always quiet and depressed. When he died, you know, she was dancing and she has a lot of issue health-wise. And she was like so happy. Like you never meet somebody like that dance. Being a Brazilian, she's Brazilian, she heard my lecture now. And she danced and everything is beautiful. I'm talking about, she was, when it happened, 68 years old, and she's like, everything is easy, everything's like that. And why am I sharing this with you? He couldn't change. He couldn't. He couldn't leave his own Pharaoh and crush it. He couldn't. He tried always to create an opening of a Red Sea for his own good. How many of you have in your life people who just taken from you and give nothing in return? And you think that one day they're going to change. I want to tell you the bad news, and I'm sorry I'm going to sound like Israeli. They're not going to change. I want to look into everybody's eyes, okay? So your bad friend is not going to become good friend tomorrow. They're going to be bad. It's actually going to get worse with the age. As they're aging, they're going to get worse. Go worse every day, worse and worse. Selfish people don't get better. Selfish people get better in being selfish. You understand? And I'm not speaking bad about them. If you bring him to me, I crush them, I fix them, then I bring him back to you, it'll be beautiful. Sometimes parents tell me, my kids, I don't know what to do, this. Say, come, let them live with us for 2 weeks, I bring him back to you, it'll be sweet. So the kids come and see me, and they look at their parents, no, we're staying home, what do you want? So what's wrong with my face? I just want to invite you for 2 weeks, you wash dishes, toilet, gardening, everything, we're going to make you sweet. And the idea is, selfish people not gonna get better. We have 2 people about to get married. So the wife talked to me and hey, he's nice, he's sweet, he's good looking, and he's in front of her. And she say, he's very selfish, he's very jealous, he's ever angry, he should temper once a week. She gave me the list. But the bottom line, I love him. And of course, I'm dying to ask why, but so my place, and say, when I was about to say, what is love, or why do you love him, but I'm not going there anymore. Getting older, there's no point, I realized there's no point to talk to people about it. And then say, I'm not happy with his personality because he's too selfish, but I hope that after the wedding it's going to get better. So I couldn't help it. My wife was very angry with me because they are a customer. I said, I'm sorry to tell you, but after the wedding, it's going to get worse.
For sure.
But you are there, you're saying it. So I'm telling you, it's going to get worse. Just to let you know. So double it up. Whatever you experience, that double. Because then he's allowed as a husband to behave this way. She didn't listen, actually. He behaved worse. She got her divorce now. Just very sweet. Very sweet. She doesn't want to get married if you're good looking and everything. No more for her after 3.5 years. So your inner Pharaoh you have to crush, but the external surrounding, what we call the external Pharaoh, it's not up to you to change it. It's not up to you. Stop becoming what we could, this gentleman used beautiful words with me today. Don't become Jesus syndrome. Meaning, don't become a savior. You want to save. How can I save you.com? Yeah, who are you saving? Who are you saving? There is enough good people to save. Why you want to save somebody that the DNA to begin with is selfish? Why? You have to ask that about yourself, not about what's wrong with them. If I want to save somebody who's a terrible human being that's never going to change, it's because something's wrong with me. My self-value is not good enough. And that's why I can never leave Egypt. That's why I can never go to the Red Sea. The Red Sea will be open for me. Moses will open it for me. God will open it for me. 72 name will open it for me. Mind over matter will open it for me. Stop being a teacher of the people you love. Stop being the preacher of the people you love. They're not changing. What are you doing? You want to fall in love or you want to become a coach? Coach, I'm going to become the coach in 25 years. No. It's not happening. It's going to get worse. So there is enough wonderful people that waiting for you. So the whole story of Beshalach, of the 72 name, we always say mind over matter, mind over matter, mind over matter. Yes, mind over matter. What is it what is the mind doing? What is the mind doing? The mind is a powerful machine that's giving. Matter, mind over matter, physicality. The physicality is selfish. Mind have to be above matter, not matter over mind. You want to have your life be happy, you want to have your life good, you got to be able to say goodbye to the wrong and say hello to the good. And stop worrying if one day you will be, oh my God, but I'm not sure. You don't love. You need that person, or you're addicted to a wrong person. Love is not when you have this addiction or need. This is what happened to the Israelite in Egypt. And nobody liked to say it. You think the Israelite in Egypt want to get out? They were addicted to Pharaoh. They were addicted to Egypt. They were addicted. Read this week parasha. Why you took us out of Egypt? Moses is kind of performing miracle here, left and right. Nachshon ben Aminadav is a human being, is a person who's jumping into the sea to show everybody, guys, it's a great miracle. Why nobody is asking a question? Why nobody is jumping in too? Can you imagine everybody's like that? What's going on? Moses just create a splitting of the Red Sea. Huh? Just did it. Albert Einstein. Whoop! Splitting of the Red Sea. Guys, are you coming? Not sure. And after they're doing that, what the first thing, just to go to the other side? Just when they go to the other side, look at this, it's like, nothing happened. Right? They're going. Before that they say, Moses, why are you making such a headache? Is there not enough cemetery in Egypt? Can you imagine, this is a talk that they have, but it's nothing to do with the Israelite. It has to do with us. And then, Miriam, the singing, the song, so what are we going to drink, huh? What are we going to drink? We have no water. I mean, we just saw a miracle, splitting of the Red Sea. We just saw 10 plagues, everything. Are you worried about water? You're talking to the signature of the boss. Moses is like the signature of the boss. You just say something, it's there. You can either say it as a complaint, or you can say it as, please help us with some water. So he had to make another miracle, and another miracle. You think it's over? Never over. Then the meat wasn't good enough. Huh? Don't like the food. Don't like the food. What is that telling you? What is that telling you? Many times you're crushing your Pharaoh. Okay. Then you're getting out of Egypt. When you're getting out of Egypt, who you want to be with. Don't be afraid. And I'm going to tell you something that might upset you if you're older than 25. You have a certain amount of time in this life. I'm sorry to mention that, but there is a clock going on. There is a time. And at that time, between 8 to until under 90, you got to do the best out of it. I'm not asking you to be selfish and not volunteers and donate and help. Do that. But the companion, the person next to you, has to think about you, and you have to think about them. Not in words, guy. I know in America the words is a big deal. In Israel, words mean that much, zero. Nobody even listens to your words. They act, talk. People can fight, and if you ask them for favor at 2 a.m., they will be in your house at 2 a.m. and help you. That's Israeli. That's how it works. But if you expect them to say, thank you, I'm sorry, they have no idea what you're talking about. If you say, I'm sorry to somebody in Israel, or thank you, what do you want? Nothing. I just say, try to be nice. To be nice in Israel is to make an action. I'm not saying that's better or that's worse. I'm not here to educate you how to behave. But in life, when you're getting out of Egypt, choose a partner. Please, this week, choose a partner. Who is your friend? Your friend have to care about you. Have to care. It doesn't mean they have to agree with you, but they have to care about you. You gotta start seeing that people care about you. I'm not saying just you have to care about them. You have to care about this is companion. This is how community is being built. It cannot be all day long I'm giving and I'm getting nothing in return. Okay? And giving has to have 3 levels. One in the mind, one is the words, and one is an action. The mind is what they think about you. This you're never gonna know. Words have to be words of kindness and good and warm words and compliment. You're never gonna know if they lie or tell the truth. It's another problem. And then come the action. And you're never gonna know if they manipulate you or give you for real. Okay? You're never gonna know. But, positive words, positive action, it's not so bad. Not so bad. You should not expect them. But those of you, I don't know how many of you have true friend, at least one friend. They say in the Mishnah, if you have one good friend, you achieve what you came here to do. Only one. If you have one good friend, you did your job in this life. One good friend, it doesn't sound like a big deal. It is a very big deal. I hear sometimes people say, I have like 20 best friends. I'm getting jealous, not in a bad way jealous, like, how do you do 20 best friends? How do you do? How do you do? How do you achieve 20? 20 is a lot. On my Facebook page, I have 5,000 friends. I don't know them, but they're there. They happen to be there. Thank God to my daughter who woke me up. He said, do you even know the people you have on Facebook or Instagram? She always asks, she's Taurus, so she always asks those questions that leave you with, no. So what is this? So I don't know. I'm supposed to clean. I don't know. I said yes to everybody, so that I would end up with confirm, right? Tick, tick, tick. How can I insult them? It's embarrassing. And in the end, who are they? I said, I don't know. It looked nice, And the idea is, my friend, we gotta get friends. We gotta get people who care for you, and you have to people you care for them. Take both ways. When you do that, then there is 3 things that are like splitting of the Red Sea. Splitting of the Red Sea, money, and relationship. 3 things that are, they say like this, money and relationship, love relationship, are a stuff to God as splitting of the Red Sea. Why they mention splitting of the Red Sea? And they write like this, because in both area, money and relationship, you have to mix mercy and judgment in the same time. One person lose, one person gain. When somebody make $1 million, another person have to lose $1 million. Yeah, that's how it works. You can win all the time. You lose, the other one gain. In love, sometimes you have to let go of your sandwich. The person you love will eat the sandwich. And that's how it works. So for that reason, splitting of the Red Sea related to money and related to relationship. For that reason, whoever read in Beshalach is opening the Red Sea. Another thing about the Red Sea that the Zohar mentioned, and the Ari mentioned it as well, is what exactly happening at that section when Moses prayed to God. Moses prayed to God. God is answered to Moses. Why are you screaming to me, yelling to me, or praying to me? Because the word titzak means praying. The Onkelos, who translate the Torah into Aramaic, he said that titzak means itpalel, meaning to pray. So when God said to Moses, why are you praying to me? To me, the word to me, is basically a code. It's a code that in Kabbalah called Ze'er Anpin, or those of you familiar with the name of God, Yud Kevavke, or Tetragrammaton. God is saying to Moses, if you're going to pray the regular prayer to Yud Kevavke, Tetragrammaton, I will tell you the truth, you cannot have a breakthrough right now. Normally you pray to this name called Yud Kevavke, and a lot of people pray and they think just praying is kind of a cool thing, because a lot of people translate words from Hebrew into English, like God, and the Lord spoke to Moses. Kabbalah asks, which Lord? Is it Elohim? Is it Yud Kevavke? Is it Ekeye? Which name? Because there is so many names, you got to know what you're related to. And for that reason, Matitzak Elai, God said to him, if you're going to pray to Elai, which means to me, it's Yud Kevavke, it's not going to work. So, who should I pray to? So God answered Moses, Be'atika Talia Milta. Be'atika, it's Aramit. It's not Hebrew. Be'atika, in Atika, which means in Keter, the highest level. Talia Milta. The words you're going to pray are depending on that level if you want to create miracle. If you want to create a normal miracle that will not help you right now, it's not going to do what you're asking me to do. If you want the relationship that you want, if you want the money that you want, if you want the health that you want, if you want whatever that you want, which is Be'atika Talia Milta, you got to do something. The question is what you got to do. What are you going to do to tap to Atika? Because Atika you can pray, the words will not reach to that level. And by the way, the secret of Be'atika Talia Milta, or what the Zohar revealed, Matitzak Elai, why are you yelling to me? In that section, the Ari has a revelation of how to explain it to people from the Zohar, and a raven arrived, and he could talk to birds, and the raven say, if you reveal the secret to regular people, the raven say your child will die, your son will die. And he looked at the raven, he looked at the crowd, and he revealed the secret anyway. And his child died that night. So the question is, everybody asking, he knew that if he revealed that secret, the child died. So, but he make a calculation that it's worth it for the secret more than the life of his son. I mean, we cannot fully understand something like that. I mean, it's tremendous level of the Ari HaKadosh, the holy line, the living line, as they call him, the Ari HaKadosh. But we need to understand what we're getting from it, because if we're not going to benefit from it tonight, and we're not going to benefit from it when we're watching this video or audio, then it's almost like the sacrifice that Kabbalists did for that section went to the garbage. So remember, Be'atika Talia Milta. So what is that you got to do for you to reveal a miracle like splitting of the Red Sea? And the answer is very simple. In words, very difficult in action. The Zohar, the Ari, explained that the person has to reach something called Mesirut Nefesh. Mesirut Nefesh meaning you have to, again, we're not in that level, but we're allowed to talk about it. Mesirut Nefesh means self-sacrifice. You self-sacrifice yourself for the sake of the mission. I'm not talking about people who sacrifice themselves with a bomb around their waist and they try to bomb everybody around them. That's not self-sacrifice. That's everybody's sacrifice. Self-sacrifice is when you are putting your life in risk for the sake of everybody else to make it. Understand? You make your life in risk so everybody else will make it. Those of you who know the history of the land of Israel, in the 6-day war, Israel didn't have a lot of anything to be able to defend themselves. So every time they threw a grenade to a bunch of soldiers, one soldier was volunteers and jumped on the grenade, so the other 25 soldiers will not die. And what happened? The grenade never exploded. Happened 1,000 cases like that. 1,000 cases like that. That if you ask Egypt, Jordan today about story, they would never understand how it works. When you go out of your way to save everybody else, And I'm not talking about for the ego or for your name to be somewhere. You really care, it's called self-sacrifice. That's called Ba'atika Talia Milta. The split, the Red Sea split after Nachshon ben Aminadav. Nachshon saw that the people started to develop some doubts. Moses created a miracle. Nobody saw the miracle. What are we doing? Nachshon said, I'm going to jump in. And he said, if you're going to die, you're going to die. But if he's not going to die, he's going to reveal the miracle for everybody. And that's what happened. As the water reached his nose and he's about to die, then the miracle revealed. That's mean for us. The miracle you're looking for is there already. But you didn't do the act that necessary for that, what we call in Kabbalah, Or the Chasadim. You didn't reveal enough Or the Chasadim. You didn't reveal enough clothing to reveal what already exists. You need to have clothing. Clothing are actions that come either from charity, either from good doing, or for a certain precept of spirituality that you do. When you create clothing, then the miracle that waiting for revealed to you is taking a place in a full explosion of the miracle is happening. So the story of Beshalach with Pharaoh and all this is a story of your life, my life. Is what do you want this week to happen, can happen to all of us. Anything. Is it your health, what bothers you now? Is it the money that bothers you? Is it relationship? Is it your well-being? What bothers you? So again, take a hammer, crush one part of your personality that you are either ashamed of or you can't stand. Stop it. Stop it. You know, I know people who like to please people. And they say, I'm sharing so much with my girlfriend. I say, what do you mean? Eat coffee, tea, take a vacation. I say, do you make sure she see it? And all? I say, of course. That's pleasing. Pleasing has nothing to do with sharing. Pleasing is the most selfish act you can do. Pleaser is basically passive manipulation. Passive manipulation. I'm giving you, now you become my slave. Okay? And what happened to the person you please? They get angry. They become more selfish every day because you don't give them a chance to give you back. So if you find yourself pleasing, stop. But the fear that you're going to have in your mind is rejection, or they're not going to like me, or something. Let them hate you. It's good for you. Good for you, good for them. Stop doing. Do mistake. They ask you to bring you coffee, take the coffee, spill it on your pants, purposely. And make sure they hate you. They develop that thing. Because it's not for them, it's for you. Are you capable to live with yourself when you're not capable to please people? If you suffer from that addiction of pleasing human being, stay away. Stay away and fast. Because you're not giving. You're not giving. You are the most selfish human being that God created when you please people. So all the pleasers will think, oh, I'm sharing, not sharing. You're forcing that person to like you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Selfish person at least announce, serve me, do for me. I'm selfish. Pleaser is covering themselves with such a nice suit of sharing. They're not sharing. You're not sharing. And they're going around, what else can I do for you? What else? At least the waiters get money for their service. You know, I make it sound funny, but you need to understand, pleasing is a disease. And psychologists can truly help you. I don't know if Kabbalists can help you, but psychologists can really help you with that. It's coming from a fear of rejection, and it's coming from a need to control everybody. So you're pleasing. All right? If you're Catholic or Jewish, usually you suffer from that. Can't help yourself. If you're born to a Jewish mother or to Catholic mother, you're done. You already have the disease. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do. Catholic mother will give you injection into your blood that please, you know, or a Jewish mother. Like my mom, God bless her and give her long life. You know, my mom, if she serve you food, you know, she will eat food from 3 days ago. Why? Don't know. My mom is with have a plate. Everybody else food that she just made, and she will eat bread from 3 days ago. Say, Mom, we have enough for everybody. And she will make that sound. Remember, this sound is when you crush, everything exists from the time you were born. She will do, it's okay, don't worry about it. What? It's okay, it's okay. That's it. And then you suffer for another 20 years. Okay? 20 years. You can ask Debbie, I took my mom to a hotel, you know, where we stay, very fancy hotel in Jerusalem. You can see the view there. And then we took her to a restaurant. The restaurant has a name, it's called Mother. What can be better? Ima. Huh? Choose the restaurant, best location. And I order everything that there is on the menu to impress my mom. But those of you who know my mom, Jewish mom, very difficult to impress. So my mom tested. I can make it. She says, Dad, I can make this too. Whatever I do, I can never win. So, you know, but then I realized, I said, you know, Eliyahu, maybe you try to please your mom. You don't try to share with your mom. Maybe it's in you already. You try to please. And I believe I have it in me that a lot of time I find myself pleasing people instead of sharing with people. And that's why from time to time, those of you who know me, you see that I change, I stop. I'm not even saying anything to you because I'm worried, because I love to give. But sometimes when I give, you know, as my wife always corrects me, you know, if I'm going to the kitchen, so I like to serve you, I like to cook for you, do for you. Yesterday was very difficult because Mark was cooking everything and doing everything, and I said to my wife, can I get involved? Can I do something? I can prepare the whole thing before they come. I said, no, you gotta learn, sit on your chair and let things happen. It was pretty good, thank you. So, this is how you're getting of the Red Sea, okay? Are you getting from Egypt? Are you getting the 72 name, mind over matter? You know, all of it, I hope you're gonna listen to this recording till Shabbat the 6th time, so you can understand how to do it. And then Ba'atikat al-Miftah, self-sacrifice. Do something about your life. Now, let me see how much time I have so I can develop one more point. I know you gotta go. There is a section in this week that talk about the manna. Manna was basically a food that comes from heaven. When manna has been mentioned in the Torah, that's been money, manna. Okay? So all that section about manna, bringing you money. Hopefully you're going to listen to it, be alert and listen to everything, because that brings the nourishment of the money. What is money? Where does money come from? As I say, money comes from Atika. So if you really want to know where it's come from Keter. Those of you who know the Sefirot. Money comes from Keter. Long life comes from Chokhmah. Those of you who know the levels. And children come from Bina. That's a Ben, Bat, same letter, Ben, Bina. Okay? So Bina give you children. Chokhmah give you Chaim. And Keter give you the money. We should think that money should be a little bit lower somewhere there. They put the money in Keter. Keter is a high level. From what is it doing up there? What is it doing up there? Is to show you that when you're struggling with money or when you make money, there is agreement in Keter, either because of this lifetime or last lifetime, that you will be rich, or you will be a billionaire, or you will be a poor. Every person, according to them. Money is not to take for granted. Money is coming directly from Keter. When it's saying that the manna comes from heaven, like the money comes from heaven, meaning from Keter, we're not only talking about that food that came from heaven. We talk about food is one subject. The second subject is money. You have to look, if you want to have money and also without side effect, which means to enjoy it, you need to get into a place where you understand that money is a gift that comes from above. If you only think that because you work hard you're going to make more money, and you making more money, that money will not bring you blessing because it's not involved of the divine of the creator within it. Everything has to be injection of the creator in it. In everything you do, you inject the creator. If you take the word Gola means exile, and you take the word Gehula meaning redemption, the only letter between exile and redemption is the letter Aleph. The letter Aleph, right, Rav Brandwein, is represent Alufo Shel Olam, the master, the creator. Well, the only difference between exile to redemption is if you injected God into the business. And I'm not talking about exile just of Egypt. Exile can be when you feel sad. That's when you exile. Exile means when you're confused. Exile. How do you inject God into the situation? It becomes a redemption. Every pain can become a redemption. Everything that bother you the most, if you say, whatever I'm going through right now, is exactly where God wants me to be in that moment. You just injected the Aleph to the Galut. And then Galut become Geula. Exile become redemption. If you're capable of doing that, right away your life starts changing. But if you're not, and you think it's a mistake, and it's a coincidence, then you're still in exile. You never left. You're still in exile. So for that reason, the end of this parasha end up with Amalek. Amalek is a nation of Amalek that say that we have to get rid. Amalek is not a nation, it's more a doubts. What is the doubts? The doubts that maybe the Creator is coincidentally put me in that situation. No. There's no mistake, guys. No mistake. Lots of time, if you see a doctor, if you see a business advisor, if you see somebody, sometimes you see them for them. Not for you. You see them for them. You see them for them. I always tell Debbie, when I go to doctor, when I go to a dentist, when I go to a place like this, I like also to enjoy, But I'm very unlucky with that when it comes to that. Let's say you go clean your teeth sometimes in a dentist, you do that, right? The thing and it's in my personality. Maybe it's the disease of pleasing. As I'm sitting there, I can't talk. I'm starting helping the lady who's doing it. How did I end up in this situation? And you have no idea how much I tried. You have no idea. And as about to leave, say the doctor want to see you. See me? I only come, but it's going to cost me, right? I only come for cleaning. Once the doctor want to see you, it's double. I don't want to see the doctor. I want to see this guy, and I'm out. That's cheaper. You want to see me? And the doctor invited me to his office. He's alone. He get a drink out. I said, "Oh, this is really going to be bad news for me. It's not looking good." She said, "Eliyahu, I have a little problem." I said, "Okay, well, what's going on?" "I want to talk to you about something. I want to open my heart. I'm going through something." I said, "Well, how did I end up in this situation? I'm not even dressed for the occasion. I came with the shirt and not nice, for a teacher." And I'm sitting there for 1 hour. The cleaning took about 45 minutes or less, and 1 hour with the doctor. I find myself in a giving position. In one way, it's a giving position. But why am I, again, sharing this with you? The way the universe operates is whoever you meet, it's not only because they dare to help you. You meet some people that if you look that God is involved in everything, you always will be redeemed. So the people you meet, let's say you're desperate for help. I don't know how many of you ever end up in an emergency room. I did. It's not a great feeling. It's a terrible feeling. And when you're in an emergency room, how can you change? I always work on that. How can I change my mind that I don't need him and he needs me? It's a weird thing. I did it one time. I told you my blood pressure went so high that I couldn't feel my toes. It was a big problem. I was in danger. I listened to advice of a different doctor than my doctor. I shouldn't. But anyway, I end up there. I'm in Boca Raton, emergency room, talking, they don't know what to do. And then this professor walk in and we have a conversation. And I'm talking to him about spirituality. And he looked at me and said, "Do you understand why you are here?" I said, "Yes, I don't know. The heartbeat went up. My blood pressure is 220 over 120. I know I'm in danger, but I felt maybe God sent me as a messenger for you." I said, "This guy's totally," he said to the other, he said, "This nuts." He said, "Totally nuts. Give him something mental, And I truly believe in it. I truly believe that even when you're not doing well, you meet people. The manna that comes from heaven is that Aleph, is that God that you can inject to every area of life. Every area. You're going to drink coffee in coffee bean, you're holding the coffee, it's just a coffee. You wait 1 minute and you say, "I'm just injecting now the Aleph
the alufo shel olam, the creator put in the coffee, that coffee is no longer coffee. It's coffee that meant to be coming from God by going to different people to arrive to your hand. And if you start thinking like that, life will look totally different. You're in a traffic. There is a reason where you're surrounded by, 100 people. How many people is in traffic? Sometimes 100 people, let's say, right? Those 100 people has something to do with your soul. Say a prayer. Say something, pray, sing something, and think that you are now vibrate the energy to them. You just did it. How hard it is for rabbis today to get the minyan. You can get the minyan on the highway. You're driving on a 101 and you have 100 people with you. They don't even want to talk to each other. I mean, thank God for waves that people start talking to each other where there is a police, right? That's it. But you have surrounded by human around you in a little metal box that cannot communicate with each other. Do you think it's a coincidence you are with those specific people? No. That's the manna. Lechem min hashamayim. Bread from heaven. It's not really a bread. It wasn't even a bread. It was something non-physical that have the flavor of whatever you want it to be. You want it to be vanilla, it becomes vanilla. Meat, steak, steak. Whatever you want, that's what it is. It's called lechem min hashamayim. So why is it called lechem min hashamayim? Why is it called bread from heaven? Because with your mind, you decide what it is. So in your life right now, if there is any problem, is that problem is designed specifically for you? Do you believe in it? Do you believe that that problem is the best thing that can happen to you right now? Because the designer called not Gucci, not Prada, not Louis Vuitton, not, other name that exists in the market. There's some t-shirt that the girls in Miami teach me that it's expensive. What's the name of that company? I never knew. There's some t-shirt. My God, I'm not going to pay $300 for a t-shirt. What's the name of that company? Forgot. So, the designer is God himself. God designed that situation for you. Traffic is designed by God. It's not a punishment. You know when it's becoming punishment? When you say it's a punishment. You want to know when it's becoming a reward? When you say it's a reward. I was playing chess with somebody. This is quite famous. He's one of the top producer and director in the world. So I'm playing chess with him. As I'm playing chess, I'm going to crush him. I crush him 2 times, so I'm coming for it. That was the big game. Because there's people and all this and that. So we put the board, and I'm ready. My ego went in. Me and my ego start playing the chess instead of playing a chess. My ego was... And I know that I'm going to lose. Whoever played chess for a long time, no, it's coming. Like you pray for him to do a stupid mistake, that he refused to do the stupid mistake. And he teach me one of the greatest lessons of life. He shook my hand. In the end of the game, he won. He won really good game. And he looked in my eyes and say, "You won." So what's wrong with this guy? And I was his teacher. I was a spiritual teacher, right? He's teaching me now spiritual lesson instead of me teaching him spiritual lesson. He said to me, "You won." So I won. And I'm like so angry when he said, why did I win? He said, because I have to go home and deal with my ego, and you are just free, you are a happy person. And I remember I looked at him, he said, "Teacher, that's not what you taught me last week?" I said, "Yeah, I teach it in my class, but when it's come to a chess game, it's not exactly what I want." So I want to end up with few story, because we talk about manna and food, and I want to share with you about 2 rabbanim, 2 Kabbalists who live in our generation. They passed away. One of them is the Baba Sali. I don't know how many of you heard the name Baba Sali. His name, the original name that was Ilula this week, Rabbi Israel Abu Hasera. And because my grandfather used to deal with similar stuff that Baba Sali used to do. And the other rabbi is Rabbi Yitzchak Kaduri. Rabbi Yitzchak Kaduri. And I happened to study with his student of Rabbi Yitzchak Kaduri, wonderful man, still alive, live in Shuk Machane Yehuda in Jerusalem. And that's that they live in our generation. It's tremendous. I think we should learn something from them. So I asked him, tell me some secret about them. What was the whole idea? Because Rabbi Yitzchak Kaduri, that Kabbalist, used to smoke. A lot of cigarette, smoke. You have yellow, every nails, smoke.
He was half Kurdi, if you know what Kurdi is, from Kurdistan, half Iraqi. He smoked and laughed all day long. Not smoke marijuana, I'm talking about tobacco. He smoked and he's happy. Always happy. So he said to me, my teacher, that's what he teach me. Whenever I talk to him, he said to me, no matter what you're going through, you can't get angry. So no matter what, you can't get angry. Because that means that the designer named God did some mistake. So how can you get angry? Second thing he said, teach him about food. See, you teach him, talk about food. I say, yes, nutrition. Say you should always, and then I want to share this with you, you should always eat things which are softer. And let the mouth work hard, so your stomach will not work hard. It's, by the way, it's in the Zohar too. And he said the second good things about it is also you don't enjoy the food that much, so you're not addicted to physicality. And eat very little. Both of them never ate meat or chicken or even fish during the week, by the way. Not even fish. They eat a little bit on Shabbat. A little bit, very small portion. Don't follow me with that, okay? I have leftover for hamburger from yesterday, so I know what I'm eating for the whole week. Yeah. So, I'm talking about them, okay? One of the story about the Basali, of Israel Bukhara, because they spoke in Arabic. Mostly they spoke in Arabic. So, he was young, and they saw everybody read Zohar and Tikkunei Zohar and the Etz HaChaim Dari. And he was kind of, as young, he wanted to study with them, but they was all Kabbalists, top Kabbalists. And said, you can't belong in that group, this group is... He said, no, he said to his father, I want to be part. I want to be part. And don't forget, his grandfather is the famous guy. Rabbi Yaakov Abuchzera was buried still in Egypt. And the people who watch that place, kind of funny, Muslim watch the place, not Jewish. And the Muslim, every time they have problem with health or money or relationship, they go to the grave in Egypt to pray and miracle happen to them. The Muslim can tell you all story about Rabbi Yaakov, Abu Hatzera. Abu Hatzera mean Abu, mean the father, Hatzera meaning little carpet. Because he used to sit on the carpet and fly like that movie, Aladdin. So he was it. He was actually it. So his grandson is Rabbi Israel Abuchzera, the Baba Sali. Study with all these old people about Zohar, and he saw that they get excited in the morning because they study all night, and then in the morning, like Shavuot, they start dancing. And one of the rabbi was so excited, he stood on the table and he started dancing like that with the book of the Zohar and the Tikkunei Zohar, and he's so happy he studied. So the young kid, at that time he was 11 or 12, so that's how he was discovered. That he's dancing, he said, I want to dance with this Kabbalist, old man. So he also jumped on the table, he didn't know if it's allowed or not, and danced with the old man. And he saw the old man hardly can move, but he was so happy. And then he looked at the chandelier, right? You say? Chandelier. And he starts speaking to it in Arabic. He said to her, I can't say the words in Arabic, it doesn't sound so nice. He said, like, what's wrong with you? Don't you see this great Kabbalist dance? And I'm trying to make him happy and I cannot. Make something, do something so he will be happy. So everybody was in the room, was about 25 people in the room. So the chandelier came out and started dancing with them. That's how we become famous, by the way. That's how we become famous. So when we talk about Kabbalists of that level, they reach level that you cannot understand. But they work mostly on being happy, never get angry, and food. Food amount and food. They didn't eat a lot, by the way. They didn't eat. Those people didn't eat. But I have to tell you, the Baba Sali, when it comes to alcohol, if you want to have a conversation with him as a rabbi, you have a bottle of arak first. And the bottle of, you know what arak is, like uzo, and he pour one glass to you that much, one glass to him, you drink, and then the conversation begins. And everybody tests him to see if he get drunk, never get drunk. You know, and he used to put his two hands on the arak, put it for 5 or 10 minutes, like this, he closed his eyes, and then he shared it with you. People came to him in a wheelchair, they stood up. Blind, they start seeing. Every disease that you can imagine. And when you look from outside, he's drinking arak, hardly can eat, reading Zohar. And Tikkunei, that's it. That's all what he does. All from morning to night. He's happy. That's it. His son getting married. He's supposed to go to the wedding. What's the purpose should be there? I'm going to study. So you cannot fully understand how those people behave. But one thing they advise to us, they say the food. You want to live longer? Focus on the food. Don't eat much. And for that reason, people who don't eat much, say the Zohar, the manna still happening. The manna still happening. What is that manna? Manna. If you know the 5 Hebrew letters, the 5 final Hebrew letters, it's called Mantzapach. You know the word Mantzapach. Mem, Nun, Tzadik, Pei, and Kaf. The 5 final Hebrew letters. So in the Torah it say Man, Mem, Nun, and what's the flavor of the manna? Ketzapichit bedvash, like honey. But they use the word sapichit, like Mantzapach. So when you study Zohar, specifically Zohar and Tikkunei Zohar, you are eating from the manna, but you have to do it with a smile. And when you are about to eat, you remember, eat whatever you need, but don't sit there and flavor. I want it crispy with the sour flavoring and sweet, bitter in the end, bitter. How many show about food you have on TV now? 2000? How many show about food? I mean, people watching show on food, and another food, and a competition of the this and that. We need to understand, we're getting out of Egypt this week. We're splitting the Red Sea. We're choosing good friend. We're making a miracle. Matitzak Elai, Ba'atika Talia Milta, self-sacrifice. And then the manna coming, the food coming. By reading, you have the right food into your life. This week can fix every single problem of your life. Every single problem. But you have to make the work. Listen to the audio, listen to that again and again, and it will happen. Try to volunteer this week. Try to be generous this week. Charity, with your time, with your love. Try to be kind. Go out of your way to do. Don't become a pleaser. Understand that when you give, it's for you. It's not for the other person. You need to give. It's not that the other person needs you. When you get that change, Saturday night, the miracle taking place already. Because what happens Saturday night? Tu Bishvat. Full moon. We're going to eat new food. Debbie made for us, all of us, new food. She used the food from the Sukkot, remember the etrog, and she make it into a jam, so you can say Shechianu. So Saturday night, make sure, is called the rejuvenation time. Those of you who feel you need rejuvenation, everybody is welcome and coming. Try to come for third meal. We're going to do Havdalah, and after Havdalah, right away, we're going to do a special meditation of Tu Bishvat. Hopefully we're going to have red wine, white wine. We're going to do it exactly like the Kabbalist. White fruit. I know for Persian it's not a big deal. For Persian they have Tu Bishvat every day. Every day they have dates and figs and this and that. But other culture, they don't eat always that. God bless you people and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you.